I'm gonna do something a little bit different because I know people wonder like who be sending me all these stories. I get a ton of stories sent to me all the time. So I thank you for those who know how to use my email. Don't send video links, but send links to news websites. That helps me out quite a bit. But I'm gonna talk about this story and I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna actually read an email about this story. Let me give you a disclaimer about my content if this is your first time here. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And again, my favorite news source, as always, Law and Crime. Thank you guys for this article. Let me read this email real quick. This email comes from Richard, and Richard says, I don't know if anybody has sent you this one already. I can't make sense of this one. I feel like we're not hearing the whole story, but this old boy is dead from trying to protect his mom from his father's. Just sad. You know what I wrote in return? Because I wanted to make sure I don't want to just piss people off. When I give a commentary, I'm really speaking from knowledge, experience, and from the heart. All of that mixed together. And also to teach. And I said, are you sure you want my honest opinion about this story? Just let me know. I will do a video on this. He said, of course, I value your opinion. So much wrong going around in this. The man was wrong. The mom was wrong for having for having a man like this around. A child should never be in that position. I said, because tonight I'm about to go off on this mother, just FYI. So if y'all are some sensitive Nancys or some sensitive Johns, you might want to strap up your boxers, okay? An 8-year-old Minnesota boy was shot and killed while protecting his mother from his violent father last week, the child's family says. Amir Demarion Hardin died on June 9th, so only like a week or so ago, from complications incurred after being shot in the head and neck on June the 6th, according to a press release issued by Hennepin County Medical Examiner. On the day of the shooting, the boy's father, Denair, D-A-N-A-I-R, Denair, I guess that's how you pronounce that, Hardin, was released from jail after making bail on domestic violence charges. He made bail. The elder Hardin allegedly returned to the family's apartment in a rage. Soon, the home on Echo Park Court in Burnsville, a medium-sized city some 15 miles south of Minneapolis, would be shattered forever as both father and son were later rushed to Hennepin County Medical Center with gunshot wounds. His father tried to shoot and kill me, but my son was shot instead, Cherish Edwards said. Amir's grieving mother wrote in a GoFundMe for moving expenses. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I have that GoFundMe. If not, I might have to pull it up. I do. Of course, there's always a GoFundMe. We don't want to have life insurance. You know why? Because there's always GoFundMe. She is asking to the tune of $10,000 and they donated more than that, $17,000. That's what the people gave. So it is what it is. She said, the child's father tried to shoot and kill me, but my son was shot instead. Amir tried to wrestle the gun out of his father's hand. I screamed for him to leave and go to the neighbors. He refused and said, Mommy, I'm not leaving you here. Let's just stop the story right there. How many of you guys praise this brave little boy for trying to protect the mother that he loves, the mother that he cherishes, the mother that cares about him? Y'all praise that? Y'all love that? You kudos. This baby boy is a hero. I would say to you this. I would say hold off on those hero chants. This baby boy should not be considered a hero because A hero is somebody that you want to repeat those actions in the course of being brave to save someone, right? That's what a hero is. Giving up their life in order to save someone else. I do not want this boy to be thought of as a hero for injecting himself in this violent ass situation with mom and the dad to protect your mother. I don't want more boys behaving like this. I don't want more kids behaving like this, because this is not a kid's place to do this. First and foremost. Now, granted, I hear that the mom is saying that she told her son not to get involved and he made his own decision to be involved. But that ain't where this freaking starts at, okay? And this is where people gonna probably get their pennies in a bunch. This is not where this starts. This starts when you chose this man, chose his behavior, knew how he was, and y'all like this alleged protective, violent behavior because you feel like that this man would never behave that way against you or your kids. You think that he'll behave that way to others? It's going to protect the family until that thug lion decides to turn on you. Thug lions are not to be tamed. They are not to be dealt with. They are not to be handled. But y'all continue to deal with them anyway, right? Have I lost anybody yet? I'm pretty sure I have. I'm pretty sure y'all done probably tuned the hell out already. The boy is not a hero. He is a victim. He is a victim of the circumstance of the type of man that mom chose. And I know for the parent, for the mom to hear that, it's got to be hard to hear that from an outside source. I wasn't in your house. I don't know what you going through. He wasn't always like this. Yous don't know what it was like, Just Jay. You ain't never dealt with domestic violence. Actually, I have. I've been the recipient. I get it. But never around my kid. Ever. Not once. This starts from the time that you choose a man. And I'm not talking to this woman. I'm talking way the hell past her. Right? Talking way past her. I'm talking to other women out there who are going to look at this story and try to defend all of this. They're going to try to defend the little boy. They're going to try to defend the mother. And I'm talking to y'all who are going to put your children in these situations and dating men that behave this way on a regular basis. I see your rap videos. I see your live streams. I see your memes that you post and share all the goddamn time, all up in the videos. Social media is a funny thing because you can look at this and you can see the mentality of people when they're constantly sharing, oh yeah, I agree with this, I agree with this, I agree with this, I agree with this. All day, every day, you're putting it out there and letting people like me know, and I can understand this and I can dissect it and say, you know what? This is the mentality of these folks. They think that this behavior is okay, right? They think that this behavior is okay. And you keep getting your children caught up in this. They look at this, and if they're lucky enough to survive this, then they're going to repeat the same stupid ass behavior when they grow up and they start dating. And it really starts in the teenage years. Huh? Really starts middle school, high school, and then it just becomes a habit, and now it becomes part of your culture. That's the culture. When you date thugs, you date death, and this baby boy should have never had to be in this situation to defend his mom, because Woody, yes, he is going to. Yes, he's going to defend his mom, because everything that life has showed him, you become a man when you can defend a woman and put your life at risk for a woman for whatever reason. And you can be deemed as a hero. You can die a hero as opposed to grow up and become something great. to be like a kamikaze and go down with the plane, to be like the Titanic and be like the band that played as the ship was going down, to be praised as opposed to being productive. Oops. I'll drink to that. How is it, and I wonder, I ain't even talked about the rest of the details because I don't think it matters as much as what I'm saying. How is it that we rather be praised for being brave as opposed to being praised for being productive? We're praised for being brave as opposed to being praised for being productive, growing up, graduating high school, graduating college, getting an education, getting a career, starting a business, being a model citizen, attracting a wonderful woman who has all the potential in the world, creating a family, creating a bond, having a marriage, and then repeating that cycle. But instead, now we have a mom and a dad who now have to look at this situation and say, damn. And now you've killed your own legacy. Behind what? Behind your selfish desires. And I continue to keep trying to wake people up and get y'all to understand the things that you find attractive aren't necessarily qualities that you should be procreating with and have children around. And y'all just think that this dysfunction of arguing and fighting and being violent and thug behavior and drug dealing and gang banging and just I'll whoop anybody's ass like that's normal mentality and behavior. And to think that these boys are being praised as this is what everybody should grow up and do. Yes, stand up and protect your mother as opposed to your mother standing up and take a bullet for you. The little boy should take a bullet for the mom. That's ass backwards. Do I even need to read any of the rest of this? The accused man is facing allegations in Dakota County District Court that on May 30th, he choked Edwards when she expressed her desire to end their 10-year relationship. So he's been a violent asshole. Edwards also alleges Hardin tried to stop her from calling for help and fled after police were called. When officers arrived, she advised them Hardin had likely had a gun in his possession and a permit to carry. In the end, he was charged with a misdemeanor count of interfering with an emergency call, domestic assault, and disorderly conduct. She advised that there had been other domestic disputes between her and the defendant several times many years ago. So it sounded like she stayed in this confusion situation. Police wrote in a charging document obtained by the paper noting that Edwards was acutely concerned Hardin would come after her again. During his bail hearing, prosecutors asked for a no-contact order to be issued against Edwards and her apartment, for Hardin to surrender his firearms, and for bail to be set at $10,000. First Judicial District Court Judge Dana Edwards assessed a bail of $4,000 instead. Hardin was free by 4:50 that day. Roughly 7 hours later, Amir had been shot. Good job, y'all. An investigation is ongoing, likely somewhat hampered by the alleged assailant's apparently self-inflicted injury. We don't know that the child was the intended target, and that's part of what's still under investigation. City of Burnsville spokesman Carissa Larson told the Star Tribune. Let me give you guys the fair usage. I feel like I've said enough. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. If you guys would do me a favor and hit that thumbs up, leave a comment. Let's have a real discussion about this. So if you disagree with something I've said, just don't go name calling. Don't name call each other. Don't name call me. Lay it out and explain why what I've said is wrong and how it doesn't help.
The medical examiner has released the name of an 8-year-old boy killed in Burnsville last week.
Police say Amir Hardin was shot during a domestic incident late last Wednesday night at his home on Echo Park Circle. He died Sunday. Renee Cooper talked to neighbors and investigators to learn more.
Amir Hardin lived in the townhome complex right here behind me. Police say the man who shot him was a family member and that his mother and 4 other young kids were home at the time.
Heard screams from outside. It didn't sound like normal screams, so I went to go see what was going on, and I heard his mom say something about her babies.
Neighbor Jesse Waltman recalling the surreal sound of screams from outside across the parking lot just before midnight on Wednesday. He ran over and found 8-year-old Amir Hardin lying on the ground.
He'd been shot. I tried to do what they taught us in high school for CPR, but there was really nothing I could do.
Everywhere you turned your head was a cop car in yellow tape.
A few doors down, Deshaun Toney caught the aftermath.
At 3 a.m. in the morning, it was still a bunch of cop cars, and it was a crazy scene.
Police say they arrived to find the boy, now identified as 8-year-old Hardin, and a man. Both had been shot and were in critical condition. A city spokesperson says the initial investigation indicates the man shot Hardin before turning the gun on himself. Hardin died a few days later. The man, said to be a relative, remains in critical condition.
When you move to these areas to get away from a lot of the stuff that usually happens in any city, then this happens right across the street from you. You sometimes don't even know how to take it.
Just try not to think about it.
Hardin's mother created a GoFundMe requesting support for her family going forward. Police say her online account of events aligns with the statement she gave to police. But investigators wouldn't verify the details at this point, saying it all remains under investigation. Again, details relating to the suspect or what led up to the shooting remain sparse at this point, but police do say they do not believe 8-year-old Hardin was the intended target of the shooting. The principal at Echo Park Elementary also releasing a statement today, sending condolences to the family. He says Hardin's smile was infectious and that he'll be deeply missed. In Burnsville, Renee Cooper, 5 Eyewitness News.
The family is heartbroken after losing their 8-year-old boy. His mom says the bullet that hit him was meant for her. She says her little boy died trying to protect her. David Schumann shares their story from Burnsville.
I'm so mad about it.
I know.
The pain Cherish Edwards feels can't be put into words. Her son, Amir Hardin, died this weekend after she says his father accidentally shot him. Cherish says Amir's father was trying to shoot her.
He wanted to protect his mommy. It's just unimaginable. An 8-year-old trying to wrestle a gun out of a grown man's head. It's unbearable pain.
Cherish says she told Amir to run outside, but he wouldn't leave her. After the shooting, she says Amir's father turned the gun on himself, with her 4 other children watching. He's in the hospital in critical condition.
We're finally free of him, but my child made the ultimate sacrifice.
Maybe I didn't hear that right. 4 other children? How old is this woman? Sharice Edwards. It don't say how old she is. What y'all want to bet? She's probably like 30. 4 other? So that's what, 5? Let me make sure I heard that right. Maybe I heard it wrong.
After the shooting, she says Amir's father turned the gun on himself, with her 4 other children watching. After the shooting, she says Amir's father turned the gun on himself, with her 4 other children watching. She says Amir's father turned the gun on himself, with her 4 other children watching. She says Amir's father turned the gun on himself, with her 4 other children watching.
So he's the father of this kid. So what they're saying, her other 4 kids, then that sounds like she had children at least by one other man. 4 other kids, and he's now in a house with her, and now they have 5 children total. Jesus freaking Christ. That's a lot.
He's in the hospital in critical condition.
We're finally free of him, but my child paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Look, man, look. I think a lot of people are creatures of habit, and I know there's going to be an indictment on the mom, and I know dad probably ain't going to like me saying this, but I'm speaking from a father's perspective because I have a daughter. I'm a father of girls. So maybe he can understand where I'm coming from, because you try to teach your girls not to end up with fools like this. What you want to bet if she has at least one other baby father or multiple other baby fathers that they were either thugs or also violent? I can almost guarantee you the fact that she stayed with this man for that long, that she's learned to deal with domestic violence. To me, that would be indicative that she tends to date men similar to this. And if that's the case, then it means that you are choosing wrong. You're choosing the wrong men. You don't see the patterns, you don't see the behavior, or you just simply don't care. And now it's cost you very, very dearly. Now, I'm speaking from a father's perspective. If people don't get that, then I don't know what to tell you, especially on Father's Day.
My children, all of them, I feel so bad for them because they are traumatized.
Burnsville police are investigating what happened, and a city spokesperson says if Amir's father lives, criminal charges will be considered.
It's a nightmare that you can't wake up from.
Cherish and her father are remembering Amir as a bright light, a goofball, and a gifted athlete.
Very happy little boy. He was courageous. He was a leader. He was my biggest cheerleader. Every day I go to work, say, "Have a good day, mommy. I love."
Your biggest cheerleader should be your dad and your husband. Lord have mercy. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I read so deeply into these things when people say them. It gives me a freaking headache when I hear people say stuff like that. He was my biggest cheerleader. That was my little man. He was my protector. Your biggest cheerleader is your own father and your husband. That's where that shit should stop. You should be your own kid's protector and their biggest cheerleader, not the other way around.
You.
Cherish says Amir's father had a history of violence leading up to this, and she has a word of warning to other women in abusive relationships.
You just gotta leave. Next time that be your life or your child's life. I think a lot of women think it'll never be them.
Now, Cherish says she's just trying to do her best for her remaining living children. She has an online fundraiser for moving expenses and other bills. In Burnsville, David Schumann, WCCO News.
We have heartbreaking new details tonight about a little boy who
was the intended target. Now, WCCO's Alan Henry has learned that man had just gotten out of jail hours before the shooting.
We're finally free of him, but my child paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Amir Hardin's mother says the 8-year-old made that ultimate sacrifice trying to protect her.
He tried to kill me. He aimed for me, somehow missed, and my child got the bullet instead.
New court documents show Amir's father was booked on domestic assault charges, released from jail, and shot him all in less than 24 hours. In a new police report.
So I want people to understand and may not understand where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that the mother should have jumped in front of the bullet. Now, if she could have, then that would have been more respectable. But what I'm saying is we can't get to this point at all. Like it shouldn't have to come to this. Children might naturally want to do that and be protective because they love their parent and they don't want to see nothing like that. They don't want to see their parent life end like that. No kid does. But this dating and procreating with a violent person shouldn't happen at all. Like, you shouldn't be dealing with this type of person at all. So it never should even got to this point. And this is the thing that fathers try to tell their daughters about the men that you be choosing. And y'all just think, you watch social media, you listen to other women, and you just think that, oh, whatever my dad talking about don't matter. This is what I like because this is what my friends like, and this is what other women like, and this is what I'm going to like. And I'm going to do what I want to do. Hard-headed.
Court notes he, quote, has a permit to carry a firearm and almost always carries a firearm on his person. Also saying his, quote, arrest is necessary to prevent imminent harm.
Sometimes the person who is using harm feels like they're losing power and control over the victim survivor, so they might escalate that violence to kind of try to regain that control.
Minnesota has a new red flag law to allow the removal of guns in these type of circumstances, but it's unclear if it was considered in this case.
It's not the... See, look, and that's why I hate politicians, man. God, dog. So just get rid of the guns and this wouldn't have happened, right? Like women haven't been stabbed, like women haven't been beat to death, like women haven't been strangled, like women haven't been drowned, like women haven't been driven over with cars, like women haven't been kidnapped, like women haven't been set on fire, like women haven't been poisoned. Like there aren't other means of a person physically trying to end someone else's life. Just get rid of one tool and you have a multitude of other ones. That's just freaking stupid. Okay, look, let me just end it right there. I think I've said enough. I think we listened to enough of that bureaucracy bull crap. Again, I say to the ladies out there, listen to your fathers. This is Father's Day. Start listening to your fathers, the fathers that care, the fathers who are there, the fathers who are active, the good fathers who are trying to teach you the right way. To my daughter, to my girls, to other women out there, I heed you this warning. Hashtag, when you date thugs, you date death. Amir, Young Prince, R.I.P. Thank you guys so much for listening. Leave your comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Share this story because I truly, truly do want to engage with you guys. Have a conversation about this, okay? Thank you.